Top 10 active MMORPGs to play in 2023. Hey there, fellow gamers. It's your buddy GameLike, back again with another exciting video. In today's episode, I've delved into the most burning topic and covered all the latest happenings in the world of MMORPGs. These games are massive, brimming with online communities that refuse to fade away, and you can jump right in and join the fun. I've gathered the absolute best that this genre has to offer from the options available to us right now. So go ahead, smash that like button, click that subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive right in. Destiny 2. Let's kick things off with something more action-packed, and in particular, Destiny 2. This game was initially released in 2017 and was originally distributed as a paid title. I actually bought it back then. However, now anyone can play it completely free, and regular updates have become an integral part of the game. In fact, Destiny 2 is perhaps the most successful representative of the looter-shooter genre, without overly capitalizing on that concept like Warframe, for example. Instead, it provides players with a plethora of content. The gameplay is divided into a single-player campaign and multiplayer battles. In the campaign, you'll follow a predetermined storyline. With each expansion, the game either progresses the overarching narrative or introduces more personalized and localized experiences specific to that expansion. In the case of multiplayer battles, the game takes on the characteristics of a classic, endlessly captivating MMO. Not too long ago, it received a major update called End of the World, which I had the pleasure of playing. It brought a continuation of the main storyline, the 20th season, new activities and mechanics, various equipment, and a new darkness subclass called Strand. Now each character has 4 classes to choose from. All in all, Destiny, in my opinion, looks extremely appealing, and anyone can't start playing at any time. Whether you want to take down mobs, embark on raids, or engage in intense PvP battles, Destiny has got you covered. Warframe remains endlessly relevant, as it's a cool third-person cooperative shooter set in a universe where different factions battle for power. We control ancient warriors known as Tenno, or more specifically, Warframes. On April 26th, a massive update called Paradox Duviri was released, transporting players to the game's 4th open-world area, a fractured realm with floating islands and landscapes that change color based on the mood of the landlord, the ruler of these lands. Additionally, this update introduced what we could call a new beginning. For all newcomers, there's so much content there that it's impossible to cover in a single video, so I highly recommend checking it out for yourself. The concept of open worlds in this game is quite fascinating, and adds variety to the otherwise corridor-based locations. Moreover, new players can choose whether to start their journey in this new world or spawn in the classic one. Meanwhile, existing players can access a new set of quests from their codex. As for the endless progression in Warframe, I believe it speaks for itself. People play this game for thousands, even tens of thousands of hours, and still find enjoyment in it. Warframe, in my opinion, will never die. World of Warcraft is a beloved and classic MMORPG that was released back in 2004. If you've been playing the game since its release up until today, you can imagine the countless hours you've spent in it. But the question is, will there be enough content to keep you engaged all that time? Well, most likely, as it offers a vast and fantastical world of Azeroth, where you can create your unique character and embark on adventures in search of glory and treasures. I won't delve too much into the game's storyline, as I believe the World of Warcraft is well known to everyone. You can explore raids and engage in PvP battles. Unlike Warframe, PvP in World of Warcraft is a separate aspect of the game and plays a significant role. However, personally, after the Lich King, PvP in Warcraft becomes a bit tiresome for me because there's no real incentive to boost your character and acquire powerful gear. There's a system called scaling, where you're essentially equalized in power, allowing you to defeat opponents who have been playing for years with just a few hits. In my opinion, it's not fair, but overall the game is fantastic. Black Desert, in my personal opinion, remains endlessly relevant and is still one of the best MMORPGs out there. Its story dates all the way back to 2015, and the developers continue to delight us with frequent updates, adding in-game content, new missions, and constantly improving the graphics. The controls are captivating right from the first few minutes of gameplay, and even after months, it never becomes tiresome as you're constantly learning something new. Here you'll embark on various story quests, tackle additional side quests, and endlessly grind for gear enhancements and wealth in this world. And now is the perfect time to fully immerse yourself in the game, because the developers have extended the spring season until May 10th. Along with that, All the seasonal events have been extended as well, allowing us to comfortably level up your characters. Remember, character progression is essentially the main focus of the game, along with earning gold. The entire game revolves heavily around gold, and it's really cool that the in-game market is also player-driven. Furthermore, there's probably no other MMORPG that surpasses the beauty of Black Desert. In short, it's still a masterpiece. Albion Online. Of course, we should mention Albion, an MMORPG set in a medieval sandbox with an open world, classless mechanics, and a strong emphasis on crafting. The game features an extensive skill system that allows you to customize and develop your characters as you please. The gameplay revolves around endless adventures in this universe, with PvP zones, resource gathering, and well-designed crafting, all within an open-world sandbox. The game has already seen numerous updates and content additions. One notable recent addition is the opening of a new server called Eastern Albion. Although this world is primarily aimed at the Asian audience, anyone who desires can start from scratch on this new server. Starting fresh on a new server in a major MMO is always an exciting prospect. And once again, Albion has broken its own record for online player numbers. All in all, as you can see, the game is evolving and not standing still, which is certainly pleasing to see. The Elder Scrolls Online. Many people criticize Bethesda for not releasing a new installment of the Elder Scrolls series for many years, and I'm among them. However, they have clearly focused their attention on the Elder Scrolls Online, and in legendary Skyrim, it was indeed missing this MMO experience in my opinion. So now those who desired more MMO elements are playing Tesso and enjoying every update. Like in other games in the series, the action of this project takes place on the continent of Tamriel, roughly 1,000 years before the events of Skyrim. We are required to create a character and embark on an adventure throughout the world. Even though this world has already become enormous, they continue to expand it. For example, it will expand further with the Necrom update, which has already been released. It will take you to the Telvanni Peninsula in Morrowind, introducing a new storyline and a new class, the Master Rune. Classes are rare in this MMO, and this particular class is based on ancient symbols and forgotten books. By the way, no one forbids you from playing previous content as well. When it comes to the story, Tesso truly stands out among its peers. Guild Wars 2. You can become a participant in a MMO that has been constantly updated for over a second decade, which sounds quite impressive. But throughout this immense period of time, the developers have introduced a lot of different content, constantly balancing skills, improving battles against both players and mobs, and many other updates that have made the game uniquely enjoyable. The action takes place in the fantasy world of Tyria, which is constantly changing due to random events in the locations. The key feature is the absence of the usual class divisions. Although there are classes, there are also some peculiarities. Here you create a single character and master all available skill sets called professions. Essentially, what you wear and carry determines the class you play, but no one prevents you from changing from heavy armor and a sword to cloth and a staff at any time, which is cool, although you will have to relearn the skills. And these skills are combined between your class and the weapon you wield. The gameplay is quite fantastic. Lost Ark is a game that is crafted in the best traditions of the genre, while also having a number of interesting features. The developers have implemented dozens of different professions in the game, both peaceful and combat-oriented. For example, you can become a fisherman, gatherer, cartographer, treasure hunter, or even a berserker, or just engage in PvP battles to your heart's content. Updates in the game are released very frequently, with the developers having everything planned out by months. For instance, in May we can expect the addition of the female version of the berserker and various character development events. In June, a new continent will be added, and in July we'll test our skills in a new raid. And in August, the developers have prepared a new class called Aeromancer, and the opportunity to battle another Guardian, which is like a major raid boss. You can jump in at any time and quickly catch up with the latest content. As for the exploration aspect, I'll refrain from elaborating on how interesting and well-developed it is because it's something you should experience firsthand. New World is an MMORPG sandbox that initially faced significant challenges but has the potential to be great. It is set in the territory of North America during the colonization period, so it lacks the usual fantasy elements found in other games. As usual, players have the freedom to choose their character, their profession, and the faction they will fight for. Notably, sieges and large-scale PvP battles deserve special attention. With the widespread construction of forts, Raiding neighboring territories is a common occurrence, and battles take place in the open world. Now is probably a good time to dive into the game because, apart from new updates, it has finally gained substantial content. The developers have seemingly stopped making complete nonsense and losing players, so it has become more promising. EVE Online is a space-themed MMORPG that offers an enjoyable gaming experience. In a nutshell, it is a successful hybrid of a space simulator and a role-playing game, with a large number of players sharing a single server. The game is set in the distant future, where humans have discovered a spatial temporal tunnel in space known as EVE, which allows them to travel to unknown regions of the universe for colonization. This is why it is called EVE Online and not some generic Space Online. One notable aspect of EVE Online is its economy, which closely resembles real-life economics. The game has its own virtual currency called ISK, which players can use to buy and sell goods and services, competing with each other based on supply and demand. The in-game universe is highly realistic and visually stunning. Many players continue to follow the development of the game universe even when they are not actively playing. As you can see, there haven't been any entirely new games in this genre since the release of New World. However, new MMORPGs are still being developed. If you're interested, I recently created a video showcasing some upcoming releases in this genre. You can find the link in the description.